Hello and welcome to another video. Um, you could almost call this another episode of Blender at 1 in the morning. That actually doesn't sound like a bad idea, but nah. I've been feeling bad lately about how I haven't done too many animations, and so I feel like giving you a few tutorials, but don't worry, I have some ideas and there are things I definitely want to work on. But today, I feel like showing you something that I believe a lot of people have trouble with when they get into the 3D sort of work, and that is about parenting. And I have drawn out these lovely, uh, I feel bad calling them diagrams, but here are some examples in a bit of a literal way on parenting. So parenting is sort of one way you connect things in the 3D space to make them work together. And whenever I hear people talk about like, oh yeah, I tried to learn this 3D stuff and you had to parent this to that and then that one to this one, but it didn't work here. And it was all so confusing, I just couldn't get it. Well, I thought I would put it into a basic sense for you so that you can understand. I'm sure that a lot of people further down the line might think of this as something really simple, but it's because it is. It's just kind of hard to figure out at first. And so, I wanted to show you this example through a parent and a child. And that was done in MS Paint, if you were wondering. And what example of what they are doing is walking around a grocery store. Here you have the halls with like the frozen foods, and off here there's like the grapes and the apples and the onions or something. Maybe not onions, but that's where the fresh produce is opposed to the frozen foods. And you're walking through the store and shopping and whatnot. And what the parent does is they go walking through the store, they're picking things up and going over here and then going back over here, getting things. But oftentimes you'll see a parent with a child. And usually when that's going on, in most cases the child isn't just running around doing its own thing. Oh, I got my apples and then I'm gonna eat them right here. I'm gonna run over here, knock this stuff over. That's not what they do. They are not exactly independent. They are dependent on the parent. They go where the parent goes. And so let's do this. Let's say I grab the child and grab the parent, and I set the parent like that, Control P. And you'll notice some lines here that have popped up. And you'll notice now that the child is actually following the parent. So let's say I had the child closer to the parent or just standing behind it. There's a bit of a white line there. You just kind of ignore that. I'll do this a little quickly. So now as the parent goes around, so is the child. But that doesn't mean that the child can't do anything itself. I'm going to do actually a tad bit of animation here. I'm going to set the location keyframe of the parent and then say just a little bit later she's going to have walked down through here and set that location. So now if I grab the child and play the animation, you'll see that he follows the parent as well as see, can I make that slower? I want to make that slower. About like that. And so, as the parent is moving, the child can also move on his own as well. As I move the mouse, the child will move, but he constantly stays with the parent. So no matter where the parent goes, the child follows, but he can still do his own sort of thing and stay near the parent. And that's kind of what they do. The mom shopping and, ooh, I want this food, and this is really cool, and mom, have I ever tried this? I don't like those. Mom, can I have this? And that's sort of how that thing works. And I can even animate him, say, be here at this time. And I have to pause to put the next one and be down here at this time. So just like that. So I hope that that has somewhat explained to you a little bit about how parenting within the 3D space works. And I guess I could go ahead and show you a practical example as well. Say if I opened up a new file and get rid of this nice and silly and funny example. Another way to show this would be using the child of constraint, but I just now did a video on that, so I feel like perhaps using an armature. Let's do like just a full human rig here. And then inside of it I'm going to add another bone. And just put this bone over here. Now that bone is sitting over there doing nothing right now. It's not attached to anything. Going like this, the arm doesn't move. Let's say this is his sword. He has a sword. And so I want to move the arm, and I want the sword to follow, but that doesn't work. So if I parent this, set parent to bone, so now when I move this, nope, I must have done it wrong. Or maybe I just need to do it in edit mode. Let's try that. Parent it with the offset like that. So now when I move this, the sword follows. And so he can swing his sword around, but that doesn't mean the sword can still do nothing. If I make a rotation here, go like this, make a rotation here, like that, go back to here, like that. So now the arm can move, but at the same time as it's moving, I could also animate the sword moving, so say he was twirling at the same time he's moving his arm. They can do their own separate thing, but at the same time be controlled. I guess another way to say this would be to put someone in a car. You could say this is the car, and let's do whatever this is on top. I'm going to parent that to the car. And so as the car drives from this location to the end location, it's going kind of slow, but rather than having be practically the same object, I could go in here and put a location here, put a location here, put a location back here, and then just maybe another one right here. And so now, as the car moves, whatever this thing is in the car, it's moving around, but it's also following the car. And so I hope that helps explain to you how parenting within the 3D space works and how it can help you. It's very helpful, especially when like trying to pick up objects or make something stay in the general area of something else. You can use it for so many things, and that's about all I have to say. I hope that this helps someone out there, and thanks for watching.